Hi YouTube, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share, give a thumbs up for the video if you found it helpful, and share it with someone that you think might benefit from it. I'd appreciate that. I want to talk about how narcissist entitlement is off the hook. And it comes in many ways. Awakened empaths, chosen ones. Like I say, we see this stuff without looking for it. I had a situation where I had to take care of some snow here in the last few days. And in doing so, I get a call from someone who's related to someone that lives close to me. And they call and they say, "Hey, I'm so and so's relatives. Can you come over and do my snow?" And I said, okay, 15, 20 minutes, I'll come over. I come over, I do the snow. In one place, in that place where I did it was supposedly not, well, it wasn't even supposedly not. They emphatically, I made sure, did you want me to clear this driveway? She said, just a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. Fine. I did more than a little bit, but that was beside the point. I did it with the machine. Only took about 10 minutes. And after I was done, I said, I'm all done. They come back out and they say, no, I wanted you to do this. And what this was the sidewalk. This machine is way wider than the sidewalk. And I allowed them to see that and let that register in their head. So what I now understood, without them realizing I understood, was this was intentional. They said what they said the first time. We were very clear on that. You know, a narcissist will pretend like they never said something. Now, I'm not put off by this. I'm not bent out of shape, not upset or anything. Like I say, machine took care of all the work. It was about 5-minute drive to their residence from where I live. But it's the principle I wanted to talk to you guys about. And you'll see this happening in many cases now that you're awakened, more than you ever did before. You did when you weren't awakened, but you would often probably get flustered. You would have these hostilities, subtle hostilities in your heart. You would ride around, walk around, continue to go on with your day, your week, your month, and on into life, harboring this thing, and something within you just didn't sit right. Now you know what that thing was that didn't sit right. These narcissists came in to disturb your peace, to disturb you. And this is what they do. And one way they do this, they will ask and solicit you to help them for your services or just lend a hand. And they'll turn in many ways with the attitude of ungratefulness, unappreciation, and what have you. And so not only did they tell me what I did was not the right thing, and it wasn't me, but what I'm trying to show you is they were subtly trying to manipulate the situation. And I was like, okay, so I did that, and that was not what you wanted. I thought you emphasized that. That was, I asked you 3 times. And so I emphasized this to them. And so you keep an even tone conversation, because what they're looking for you to do is get uptight. But I'm looking them in the eye with this somber, stoic stare, and I'm like, we discussed this 3 times. And it was a semi-smirk, like you just saw me give. But they can look in your eyes and see it's anything but funny. And so I said, I asked you 3 times. And so I said, okay, you need me to clear a path down that sidewalk. And I said, I don't know if this machine will be able to do this without making a big mess. I said, well, I'll attempt to. And so I did that. And once it was over and said and done with, actually, when I did the driveway, I said, $25, give it to me. That's it. Which was half of what I would ask for most driveways. Mind you, because they were related to someone that lives near me. They think they can get what they want from you for nothing because they are related or associated with someone you know. But the surprise came when I said, okay, 25 bucks for the driveway. And it was like, oh no, I wanted that done. So I gotta pay all for someone else's driveway and it's not even mine. And I said, well, that's how it goes. I said, this is what I'll do. I'll do this sidewalk. Man, I said, just give me 20 bucks for the whole thing, everything. And so at this point, I already had realized that this was a con. And so when I did the sidewalk, I called and I said, I'm done. They were so put off by the fact that I stood on business. And I think they thought that they were going to get this for nothing. And they did. 20 bucks, they got it for nothing. They were so disturbed by the fact that I stood on business. When I called them, they said, okay, my mother was going to bring it out to you. They didn't even want to see my face. This is how you disturb them. This is how you disturb their chaos. They want to disturb your peace. Impulse awaken. This is how you disturb their chaos. And so that was scorn. Sending your elderly mom to the door to pay me. So I'm sitting inside of the machine. The mother comes to the door on the phone. And she, instead of her taking 3 steps down the stair and handing it to me, she unctioned me like. And so I stare at her for what seems like maybe 5 seconds. And I get out of the machine and I go up and I grab the cash and I get back in the machine and I take off back home. Now, I'm sharing this with you guys because there are several incidents or instances that I could talk about on here, but I generally don't when it's something so petty as this. But it's not petty, because I want you guys to know it's the pettiest of things that sometimes can disturb your day. The pettiest things that could turn a great day in which you're living in your purpose, can throw you off, because these people come to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's your spirit, your livelihood, and the whole nine. And they didn't do it that day. And so I took the cash and headed home. Now, I want to go back into this story from the time I drove up in my machine. And I didn't want to put that in conjunction. I didn't want to put that in the story in the beginning, because I wanted you guys to be engaged with the story and how that went. They're just entitled creatures, is what I want to emphasize. So let's back up to when I arrived. This individual comes out of her house, has a smile, waving, because they think they're about to get something for free. That smile changed once money was involved. Like, how dare you? What makes you think? You think things are driven off of water? And even water costs, right? It's like there's nothing that comes off in their head, a switch or a light that comes on to say, this person's time is valuable. And they just did something for me that would have taken me 2 hours to do. They did it in like 2-3 minutes, 10 minutes. I could have never done what that machine did. And so in the grand scheme of things, you say 20 bucks, go do the math, guys. You guys live in areas where there's snow. So I basically did them a favor. And I only emphasized the $20 because I knew what I was dealing with. Could have been $1. They would have still had the same reaction. And so that was a surprise to them to have me actually stand on business and look for cash for services rendered. Now, back to what I was talking about. When I pull up in the machine, they step out off of the porch. They're wearing pajama pants which is their right. They've probably been just chilling in the morning. Nothing against that. Not judging. It's 14 degrees out. Very much possible. They come off the porch. They have a sweater on, and it's undeniable. Undeniable. The sweater with no bra on. Everything is hanging down and protruding and everything. And it's 14 degrees out. Now, women, wear what you want. I'm not judging you. But for this story, I'm emphasizing on this point for one reason. 14 degrees out. They had no regards to needing a coat on or anything. But it wasn't about them being cold. It was about them trying to entice me, thinking that that little demonstration, because a lot of women just think men are horn dogs. You're gonna get a favor. You show a little cleavage. You show a little flesh. You show a little this. You smile. You turn a certain way. You fluff your hair a certain way. Many times that does work with men that are not in tune with themselves. It definitely works on most men in general. But an in tune, empath, chosen one, awakened, we see it a mile away. Even if your intentions are probably not 100% in that fashion, we take that for what it is. We take it for what it is. We look at all the components. We look at all the dynamics of what's going on, what's being done. You need a service. I'm providing a service. You think the dignity within her would have been, let me put a jacket on. And just for her to come out like that, you may say, well, okay, she's probably not even thinking about that or had that on her mind, but she does want services rendered. But she does want something for nothing. So I think in her coming out in that attire in the way that she did was very much on purpose, very much by design. Because in doing that, this was to help secure. Now, I called him and I emphasized I'm a relative of someone that lives close to him. He did their snow. He'll do my snow. And I did her snow. But I did it for the dough. I did the snow and I wanted the dough. And this is what I want to tell you guys. If you have an experience like this, guys, girls, where you're providing a service for someone, be conscious of the fact how one demonstrates or is dressed, because a lot of people think they can get a killer deal. A killer deal for showing a little flesh or showing a little provocativeness. But that day it didn't work, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I found it a little offensive, because the fact that she thought that I was him or them instead of him. And so she found out the hard way, and I know right now she's probably never going to call me again, which is actually what I'm hoping for. And this is how you solve those problems, man. You solve them. You solve them. You nip them in the butt, because people like this are imposing, and they think their entitlement because of who they are associated with or who they are related to. They think because that person, they're very envious. If somebody else gets something for nothing, they want it for nothing. I used to work at this boarding house for wayward women who were running from domestic violence relationships. And I was the groundskeeper for that. And I also used to assist in passing out the weekly free food drives. Do you know how many women would come through the line twice, 3 times, 4 times, thinking that they could come back through and get multiple things, and believing that most people would not turn them away? I would look them right in their eye and say, you've already been through the line, you can't do that. You know, you're taking something from someone who would otherwise be in need of this. And this was before my awakening. Go figure. Empaths, we stood on business even before we awakened, but even more so now that we are awakened. That being said, bless.